Goodness. I don't say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening because it depends on what time you're tuning in. So it's goodness to you. This is Sporty King coming to you on Friday with Gift Friday. Gift Friday. And welcome to Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to that person that took their last breath on Thursday? Or any day before that, for all that matters. Therefore, I've learned to incorporate what I learned from Psalm 92 and 2. And that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. Thus, I don't say TGIF, I say TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Because what I've also learned is from Matthew 6 and 34. Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. TGIT, thank God it's today. So I offer another way of looking at TGIF, and that is trusting God is free. TGIF, trusting God is free. Think about it. What does it cost for you to experience the most important blessing of every single day? Waking up. Doesn't cost you a dime. So trusting God, you have to, when you lay down to go to sleep, that's brave because you trust God that you will wake up again. And just because someone does not wake up, by the way, to those of us who do wake up, that doesn't mean that we should stop trusting God. We should continue to trust God. Because think about it, with TGIF, if we move the T in TGIF from the beginning to the end, we find out what we should truly be thanking God for every day, and that is the gift of today. God is for today. So Gift Friday is the online sharing of one of my original poems. And then I will then break it down just a little bit so that you can see its possible use for inspiring your audiences online or in person or hybrid, as we're doing these days as well. That's half virtual and half live. Each poem will then be my gift, and I'll drop it into the feed after the broadcast that you'll be able to click on and then download it as your colorful keepsake. So you'll hear me read it here, and then it'll be your gift. So get ready for, I'll remind you. So within 5 minutes after the broadcast, it'll be available on my site. And now, here's what we got. Today is the first Friday of Women's History Month. Therefore, I've chosen a poem that speaks to the reminder that we should value all women, yet especially the younger ones who are so impressionable. So this week's poem is from my book, A Poet in Every Prophet. A Poet in Every Prophet. And the title of the poem is Let the Flowers Grow. Let the flowers grow. Let the flowers grow. You see, they don't even know how pretty their petals are. They know they need water and love to grow, yet they don't know where to get it or what kind is good for them. You see, they don't recognize the disguises that water has. Water is in beer, alcohol. Water grows drugs and tobacco, cooks cocaine. And yes, water is in love making, where the grower says to the growee, but he's only faking. He's faking like it's good, he's good, and that he believes God is good, when all he wants to do is wet his wood. And we all know that wet wood won't let the flowers grow. So would you mind? Would you mind having a mind to not let a mind be a behind? And as you think you have to touch that flower, realize that its prick needs to be a verb and your self-control a reality. For the reality is that your flashback is a lie and one that you can't recapture. You see, the new roots you're trying to plant don't dig deep enough, Daddy-O, and your sprinkle will only spoil what you soil. Let the flowers grow. Now, see, if you'd really like to connect, let me take that down. If you really like to connect to the concept of love, which is what the poem is about, try reading Song of Songs in the Bible. It's the story of commitment being at the heart of the most intimate of all relationships, a person and God. And the most intimate of human relationships, a husband and wife. That's Song of Songs in the Bible. And meanwhile, my poem addresses a man's intent by stating, the poem in Song of Song addresses a man's intent by stating what should be a woman's expectation. Here's how it is expressed in the book, in the Bible. He brings me to the banquet hall so everyone can see how much he loves me. You know, there's the joke we have in modern days of the side chicks don't get the main holidays, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, the family reunions. But our women, your man should be proud to bring you to the banquet hall, to any celebration. So everyone, that's how they can see how much he loves you. And that's how it's expressed in Song of Songs. Now back to how my poem actually opens with a call for honesty. Here's what it says. They know they need water and love to grow. They know they need water and love to grow, yet they don't know where to get it or what kind is good for them. You see, they don't recognize the disguises that water has. The poem is important. It lets us know that we must remind our young girls to take pride in being chaste, not being chased, and be respectful of their bodies. We've got to remind our young girls of that. In the Bible, you'll find a refrain addressing these concerns is repeated 3 times throughout the 8 chapters in the book of Songs. It says, "Promise me, O women of Jerusalem, not to awaken, love until the time is right." So it's repeated 3 times in the Bible, just to remind our young women to take pride in being chaste, not being chased, and being respectful of their body. Do not awaken love until it's time. Take your time. You'll grow up. Maturity's on the way. Hang in there. All right. But the remainder of my poem then talks about it's a call for men to curb rather than masquerade their love. You'll see it in these lines. Water is in beer, alcohol. Water grows drugs and tobacco. Water cooks cocaine. And yes, water is in love making. We're the grower. And that's the old guy trying to take advantage of a young woman, says to the growee, "I love you," but he's only faking. And that's why I say what we've got to do is curb rather than masquerade your lust. Don't look down on our young women, everybody. Protect them. I mentor several young women with no intention of hoping that they'll one day weaken and become my sexual partners. I see them as little sisters, little cousins, little girls, little nieces. I don't care how old they get. I don't see them as immature, but I see them as little sisters to me, little cousins. All right. And I'm just not into incest. So one place where I'm inflexible is child predators. I must admit, I won't get selected for a jury trial if it's about child pornography or predators. So I remind the young men that I mentor, I remind them that if you think with the wrong head, you'll end up in the wrong hole. Yep, I got to go PG-55 on you every now and then. But you have to be clear. You have to be clear in setting boundaries for our young women and for our young men. And in the poem, it's in this stanza. Realize that its prick needs to be a verb. You get that? Not a noun. A prick needs to be a verb. And your self-control needs to be a reality. For the reality is that your flashback, if you're an old dude trying to take advantage of a young woman, your flashback is a lie. You're no longer who you used to be. You have to accept your maturity as well, and one that you can't recapture. You can't recapture your youth through a young woman. Now, am I saying that there shouldn't be relationships, as they call them, day night relationships or something like that, from older women, older men, older men, younger women, older women, younger men? No, love is about you. I'm talking about the insincere relationships with the guys who are just trying to, take advantage of a younger woman. That's what this poem is about. I'm not even spreading it out to talk about women taking advantage of younger men. This poem is about letting the flowers grow, our young women, because they are the source of our future. They give the birth. So if they have a birth that's, that they don't really want, they don't have the right relationship. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. And then, so now we get a socialization of a young girl being angry at a man. And so therefore now because they have the wrong definition of love. And so they pass that on to their child somehow, and sometimes subconsciously. And now we've got a cycle. We've got a cycle of poor relationships. Okay. So anyway, you'll enjoy the poem and I'll break it down, but I want to also give you a couple of resources today. A wonderful organization that you can refer to for information on how important it is for men to take that last line that I talked about. Realize the prick needs to be a verb. You have self-control of reality. The reality is that your flashback is a lie and one you can't recapture. It's an organization where boys are mentored by men. It's called A Call to Men, and it's a great organization that you might want to look up. That's why I let it stay up there for a little minute, and it'll still be on my broadcast. And then if you want for directly speaking to our tweens and teens, and tweens, by the way, are the kids who are not yet teenagers, in case you don't know that term, heyugly.org, which is a wonderful organization that I am co-founder of and very proud of. We help children, teenagers and tweens and teens deal with self-esteem, suicide, and alcohol abuse. Well, drug abuse as well. Substance abuse. There we go. So, and I'm Sporty King. SportyKing.com is my site. You can always reference there for anything you need. Let me inspire you, and let me help you inspire others. Thank you for joining me on Gift Friday. Your gift will be posted right here, and so that you'll be able to click on the link within the next 5 minutes. Thanks. God bless you, and have a safe weekend. Ciao. And let the flowers grow.